Yo, what up everyone? Welcome to my 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross quick and dirty guide. This is going to be a quick guide to cover some of the most important stuff. This is a great new gacha game. It's a lot of fun. Been playing it a lot and very much enjoying it. So I thought I'd make a quick and dirty guide to help everyone get started and just kind of make sure you're kind of doing the right things to keep you on the right track so you can play efficiently. If there's something not covered in this guide, it's probably on purpose, because I'm trying to keep this guide as short and sweet as possible. That's what these quick and dirty guides do. The link, so I'm going to use a Word document to outline this stuff, and the Word document you can download. The link is going to be in the description. As always, please click a like on this video. It would help me a lot because I hardly ever make videos, so I'd appreciate it. Thanks. Alright, first thing we're going to cover is the tavern, the Boar Hat Tavern. The most important things you want to do here is you want to calculate your sales every day. You want to go to Hawk, make sure you have recipes set up on here. These recipes are basically what Hawk sells to the customers every day. Depending on how much you play, you can change these recipes, and then depending how much you play is which ones you want to use. So if you log in multiple times a day, you might want to have the 3-hour recipes on there so you can collect it multiple times a day. Me, I typically don't log in multiple times a day, so I have the 1-day recipes on here, which yield the most gold, but you can only collect 1 time a day. So that's the first thing you want to make sure you do. The second thing is Tavern Effects, also from Hawk. So Tavern Effects, there's items you can buy here in the Tavern Effects, and they give you bonuses. They do cost diamonds, so you know, the ones that are the most important that I believe is the bar. So you go here, you go to bar, and the reason the bar one is important is because it gives you Hawk sale increase 5%. So that gold we were just talking about that you get every daily or every 3 hours, it increases by 5%. So that's going to net you more gold every day, and over the long run that's going to net you a lot of gold every day. The second one is decorations, and that one applies 5% deathmatch increase. So as you know, if you want to summon a demon, when you run those things, to summon the demon, it only goes up a certain percentage every time. This increases that percentage, so you ultimately end up spending a lot less stamina trying to get your demons to spawn. So I think that's worth it as well. The last one that is definitely worth it is probably the kitchen. The kitchen lets you collect more ale from the tavern every day. The ale is important because it gives you your affinity, your hearts with your characters, and you can use that to get some diamonds and also get a weapon or cosmetic item for them. And those aren't just cosmetic items, they also give you stats. So those are the 3 most important. And another thing I want to note is when you do buy one, make sure when you click it here, you don't just change appearance. Make sure you also click change appearance and change effect, because if you don't have the effect on, you will not be getting that bonus. So you want to make sure you change the appearance, which just changes the appearance, but you also want to make sure that change effect is on, or else you will not even be getting that bonus. So make sure that is on. Okay. Inviting Veronica. So if you go to this little sign here, you can invite Veronica to your tavern. You want to always click the top one right here, the guest right here, tavern, invite Veronica. What that does is Veronica comes to your tavern. It takes a couple minutes, so after you invite Veronica, go do like 1 fight or something and then come back, and she will be sitting right here in this chair. You'll be able to talk to her and give her a food. She'll request that you give her a food. You give her that food, and for an hour everything you sells for 20% more. So you basically will go to a vendor, like in one of the towns. You go to one of these towns, for example, go to a vendor, and then you sell your treasures. These. So you sell these. And while you have that Veronica buff, you get 20% more gold. So you basically want to hoard stuff, invite Veronica, talk to her, donate her the food that she asked for, and she gives you 20% sale buff. Then you go and sell all your stuff. You can invite Veronica once a day for free. So make sure you do that. 20% doesn't sound like too much, but it's huge when you sell a lot of treasures and whatnot. It really adds up and it's really worth it. Next thing is cooking. As you know, there's a daily for cooking, so you want to cook. To me, the most important cooking that I focus on is a good attack food. So this is the one I use right here, a good attack food, and a good gold food. And this is the one I use right here for gold food. I make a couple of those every day to make sure I have that. And the thing to get the ingredients too, they're also, for this one, this is the one I use the most. You can go to the first town to buy all 3 of these ingredients. And remember, you can only buy 5 a day. So every day I make sure I go to Vanya and buy 5 of these a day. That way I basically will never run out of materials to crank out these foods. You can mark it as your favorite recipe. Pick up ale. So you pick up the ale here. You can only do so many a day. And if you purchase that tavern buff that we talked about earlier from Hawk, you can pick up more of these a day. It's increased by 1. Again, these are used for affinity. So when you go to your heroes here, and like see my bond right here, what I'm trying to unlock for him in the affinities, I'm trying to get this weapon here. And I can you can give him these ales to raise this by 300 a day. And that works for every character, the ales. So you definitely want to pick up those ales every day. Pick them up until it shows a red icon. That means you cannot pick up any more once it shows a red icon. And the next thing you want to do is serve your cut. See, I can still get 1 more. And I can get 1 more because I have that bonus. I think you can normally do 3 a day, but I can do 4 a day. Now it's red. You want to go to this table here, and if this has a little heart icon next to it, click that. Serves a guess, and you get affinity with Meliodas. Other thing is you go to this table, and this one shows hearts. You can clean it, and you also get Infinity Meliodas. If it doesn't have the little heart on it, that means you already did it, and you have to wait till it resets, till you can do it again. See, there's no heart buff here now. It's very simple. Okay, that's the tavern. Moving on to daily quests and events. These are super important to do every day. So first things first, logging in, right? You get a daily login bonus. When you log in, Elizabeth will hand you your free items for the day. And right now there's an event where you get twice as many items. So she gives you whatever items are on here, and then you're going to get your daily login event, which is here. And so you get SSR units from this as well. At the end of the week, if you log in every day all week, you get a guaranteed SSR ticket. So super important to log in. Even if you don't have time to play, just make sure you log in and do that at a bare minimum, right? The next thing to talk about is do your daily quests, your green tasks. All your daily tasks show up in green. You can see them right here. It's really important to do these because, as you see, they give you a lot of important stuff that you're going to want to use. Very useful stuff. So, you know, leveling enhanced potions, very useful. Money, very useful. This is to enhance your gear, very useful. Gold, very useful. Stamina potion, very useful. So also some awakening materials, very useful. Diamonds, very useful. This is also to level up higher level gear. So basically everything on here is very useful. So you want to try and do these dailies. They're very simple. You can do them all probably in about 15 or 20 minutes. Very simple. Take care of those every day. The next thing you want to do is check events. There's a lot of daily events. So like right now there's one, for example. If you click events right here. There's like a global check-in. That's the one I was showing you already, where Elizabeth is offering extra items. And then there is also a share daily right now. So you click that and it says, hey, share this to your friends. So you click share and then it pops up like you're going to share, right? And you can just cancel that and then you did it and you claim it. So there's daily events like that. You can do this every day, but those change all the time. There's different daily events every day. So you just need to check back on that and see what the current event is. So make sure you do daily events as well. Daily equipment pool, daily unit summon, and inbox daily chest. So equipment pool every day. If you go to the shop here, you have a daily draw here that you can do. You can draw equipment here for free. And your character draw, if you go to draw, in your character draw, you have a free one you can do here every day as well. You want to do that every day as well. And what this one is, the inbox one that I put on there, if you go to your mail right here, your inbox, every day you can watch 3 ads and get free treasure, which equals money. So those are the 3 other daily things you can do a day. You want to do those 3 for sure. Stamina pots. If you are in a knighthood, you can buy stamina pots. I think it's limited to 3 a day. And to me, stamina pots are one of the most important things I buy in this game. I try to buy as many stamina pots as possible because, as you know, there's a lot of grinding in this game. So stamina pots are king. So if you have a knighthood, you can buy stamina pots here. I buy 3 a day because that's the max. So I make sure I buy 3 a day there. And if you, there's other places you can buy stamina pots too. I recommend another place is if you have a bunch of silver coins in the coin shop. Silver coins aren't used for too much. Some of these units can be okay, some might be useful. Oh, here's another daily thing, by the way, that you should do every day, is pull this every day. That's a daily thing as well. But you can get stamina pots here for 1 gray coin. So 1 gray coin and you can get a stamina pot. So I typically buy my stamina pots from here as well. Friendship points, you can also get stamina pots from friendship points. They're a lot more expensive, so it's up to you if you want to either get this or if you want to buy these or whatever you need. But typically I buy stamina pots because there's not very many places that you can get stamina pots or farm stamina pots. So I recommend buying them through those methods. Okay. So main storyline, yellow quests. So you're going to have yellow quests up here on the top, and that's basically the main story in the yellow quest. You're going to want to complete those. You get a lot of rewards, and there's a lot of things like knighthoods in certain areas, and the Grey Demon and things like that that don't unlock until you complete the whole storyline. So one of the best storyline units, or one of the best units, people ask me, you know, what's the best units, but that's subjective because it depends what you're doing, right? So if you're doing the story, the best unit hands down is going to be Green Captain Meliodas. You only need to get him to level 60 to complete the whole story. You don't have to push him past that. Level 60 is good enough. You will be able to clear the whole story with him at level 60. He has a really broken ability that he counters, like full counter. But the thing about his that's broken is the counter hits harder based off of the life he has lost. So if he's like half life and he does this full counter, it hits for a ton of damage. So he's definitely the best character hands down. You want to re-roll your account till you get Green Meliodas. It will help you progress and make progressing a night and day difference. Super easy progressing if you have the Green Meliodas. I re-rolled on both of my accounts till I got him, and no regrets. Another team that's good for the story is a balanced team. So for my balanced team, basically this is what my balanced team would look like right here. I'd have Green Meliodas, like I just said, he's broken for the story. And I try to have one of each color. So when you're doing the story and running through, you always have at least one type advantage. So Green Meliodas, super good. Blue King is super good and versatile. If you're going to get any unit to 70 first, I recommend getting Blue King to 70 first because he's super versatile and you can use him in a lot of different things. He's a very good unit. And then you want a good damage dealer. So you could either put like Jericho here, or you could put like Red King Arthur, or even Red Mobile Tavern Hawk Elizabeth. She's also a good damager. But that's the best balanced team. King, Blue King, and Green Meliodas. Those two are a must in your story mode balanced team. And then you can kind of tweak with the third slot as you see fit. But with those two units, you should have no problem clearing the whole story. So moving on, special dungeons. Special dungeons. You want to use your, so special dungeons, you want to use your keys every day. So if you go to battle and you go to the special dungeon, Fort Solgras, you want to use these resources every day. You get these keys right here on a timer, and that lets you run this one, which is specifically for gold. You always want to try and run the highest level one, and the reason is why is the rewards. So if you run the highest one, you have a 3% chance to get the SSR treasures. If you look down here at the one below it, you only have a 1% chance. And the percentage chance is higher and higher for the better ones. So you want to try and run the highest one possible, and you want to use these keys. These keys you should always have at 0 basically. You want to maximize using these. If they're at 10, you're wasting them, because once they're at 10, you're not getting any more. So you want to spend all these keys as much as possible and get it that, because gold is super important in this game. We'll talk about that a little bit. Same thing with this. This is an event dungeon key, which lets you do these events right here. These events, I recommend farming the treasure one again to get treasure. And the reason I want to do the max one again is not only because the rewards are better, but you also have a chance to get an SSR pendant from the highest one. If you look at the one that's below the highest one, you do not have a chance to get an SSR pendant. So you definitely want to do the highest one right here. So that way you have that 2% chance. Hey, it's low, but at least you have an extra chance to get that pendant, right? So definitely do those every day. Keep this number at 0 as well, because, you know, these come back a lot long. These take a lot longer to regen. They take like 8 hours or some shit. I don't know. But yeah, try to do that as much as you can. The reason I recommend doing the treasure one is because you can farm enhanced pots regularly with stamina. You can farm books regularly with stamina, but you cannot farm gold. You cannot farm these treasure chests very easily. So I recommend doing that. See, you can farm potions here, and you can farm books here of any color that you want. Also, another thing to note is to farm books or enhanced potions while sleeping. That is these guys right here. So take your choice. If you need green, you're going to need a lot of books to awaken your characters and level up your characters. So pick one of these guys, go in here, do an auto run, and just crank this thing up to like 30 or 40 times. Like 30 times depending on how much stamina you're willing to blow, and run that when you go to bed. When you wake up, you will have a bunch of books, and the color does matter, so try to farm the one that you need the most. However, you can trade those book colors inside your tavern. So say for example, if you have 1,000,000 green books and you happen to need some red ones, when you go to King, not only does he upgrade and downgrade your books, he can also trade the color of them. So if you're like, hey, I have a bunch of these, but I wish they were red, you can do the exchange here and exchange them to red. It's a 2-to-1 ratio, so you're losing books by doing that. But hey, if you're farming those books while sleeping, that is super efficient already, because you're literally sleeping and farming. So yeah, get that done. Do that when you're sleeping. That will also help you level up your rank. Your player rank will go up a lot if you do that as well. And that's kind of why stamina potions are so important, right? Going back to earlier, how I was saying get as many stamina potions as you can, because farming is the thing in this game for sure. Alright, sorry, can't help you right now, bud. We'll move on to demons and boss battles real quick. So with the demons and the boss battles, one tip I can recommend is I made 2 accounts. So I have 2 devices. I'll either play, I have two devices. So I'll either run 1 account on my computer or 2 accounts on my computer, or 1 on my phone, doesn't matter. I have 2 devices, which means, because you can only summon so many demons a day, right? If you go here to boss battle, you can only do these, and then you're out of chance, then you're out of the ability to summon more demons. Well, if you have a second account, you can do all these again and then invite yourself, and you can do demons by yourself basically. It's super important because not only are the horns needed a lot to upgrade characters, You also need the horns to donate to your Knighthood, and that's super important to get your Knighthood up and to get Knighthood coins to purchase stuff in the Knighthood. So you literally can just get double the horns a day if you make a second account, and you can kind of make your second account opposing. What do I mean by that? So like heroes, for example, say for the Grey Demon, Helbram and Holy Knight Gil Thunder are the best buffers. So on this account, I have Helbram because of its attack buff. On my second account, I leveled up Gil Thunder because of his attack buff. So that way when I run the demon, I got Helbram and I got Gil Thunder, and they both can stack their attack buffs. So you can make it a second account and make it to accommodate / supplement whatever your first account, your primary account's missing. And you can do demons all day long without another player, and it's super easy, super efficient. So I recommend doing that. If you have the ability to do two counts, do that. So let's talk about strategies real quick. The Red Demon, the strategy for the Red Demon is simple. You have to either stun, freeze, or incapacitate him at the end of every turn. You can do that a few ways. You can do that with Gustav, or you can do that with Merlin. They can both freeze him. So it's recommended you run one of those on your team. Green King is also good because his rank 2 card can stun the demon as well, petrify the demon actually. So I also recommend Green King on a team. And then for damage, I recommend Elizabeth Hawk. You can just get her to level 60 just for the Red Demon, because I don't use her for much else, and level 60 is fine, and she does massive damage because of her passive. And then another good damage option, if you don't have Elizabeth Hawk, is Blue Slater. So this is my Red Demon team. My Red Demon team. I have Gustav here to freeze to make sure the demon gets frozen every turn. I have Elizabeth here, and again, she hits like a truck because of her unique ability. If she doesn't take damage, she gets stronger. And as you know, the strategy is to freeze the demon. So the demon should never be hitting you. And because of that, her unique ability cranks up, and she does insane damage, guys. She does insane damage against the Green Demon because of that. And I have Blue King for that. Say for example you don't get a freeze card with Gustav, you can also use this rank 2 card to petrify the demon. So I use Green King to do DPS and also a backup stun, incapacitate, freeze, whatever you want to call it, as needed. Because he hits pretty hard against the Green Demon too, against the Red Demon too, because he also has the type advantage. Why do I have this guy in my sub slot? So for all the demons, I put this dude in my sub slot simply for his unique ability. Increases all allies' attacks related stats by 10% in death matches. So in all your demons, he's going to give your whole group 10% increased attack related stats. And let's face it, if you're on a demon and you lose one of your main 3 team members, you're probably in trouble anyways. So really, he can sit in the sub slot level 50, and he should never really have to come out and fight. You just want him for the unique ability. If you're doing your shit and doing it correctly, he's never going to come out. He's a really good way to do increased damage on the demons in the sub slot because of that awesome unique ability he has. Okay, going on to the Grey Demon team. Grey Demon team. So the strategy for the Grey Demon is basically a DPS race. You cannot stun him, you cannot petrify, and you cannot freeze him. So for that reason, basically the name of the game is killing the Grey Demon before he kills you. That's basically the strategy. One thing to note about the Grey Demon is he can fly. And there's a lot of hits, there's a lot of melee hits and stuff that will not hit him, that will just straight up miss. Like Meliodas counter, for example. If Meliodas does a counter and the Grey Demon's in the air, it hits him and does 0 damage. So you got to watch out for that and consider that when you're building your team. Every so many turns, the Gray Demon will land, and he'll have a little buff over his health bar that shows when he's flying or not. So pay attention to that. The team I go with is Hellbrum, because he's my buffer. So I use Hellbrum as my buffer because of this. He buffs the attack related stats for 2 turns. And again, the Gray Demon strategy is dealing as much damage as you can as quickly as possible. And then on my second account, I use Gil Thunder, because Gil Thunder also has a similar attack buff, and since it's not the same character, not the same buff, they do stack. So you can throw up Gil Thunder's attack buff, on your teammate can throw up Gil Thunder's attack buff, and you can throw up Hellbrum's attack buff, and they stack, and you will do insane damage. I also use Merlin on this. Why? Because she has a type advantage, so she deals a fair amount of damage against the Gray Demon. She can also keep him basically from never getting his ultimate, and her bubble actually works on the whole raid. So when you put up this bubble, it applies to all 6 characters, even your friend that's helping you. So all 6 characters get this, and when the Gray Demon AoEs you, it basically nullifies it. So it nullifies a ton of damage, and she can dish out damage at the same time. You know, if you bring in a healer, that's cool, you can heal, but then usually you're sacrificing a lot of damage from healing. If you have Merlin, you can do a decent amount of damage, and you can keep your units protected from his AoE. The third and best unit for the Gray Demon is the Green King. The Green King hits like a truck against the Gray Demon. That's all there is to say about him. That's what he does. He hits like a truck and will kill the Gray Demon very fast for you. And then same thing, I got Old Man Kane in the sub slot just to get that attack buff applied to my whole team. So if you don't have Hellbrum, you can use Gil Thunder as well. If you don't have a Hellbrum, you can bring in Green Holy Knight Gil Thunder. He also has an attack buff. And if you're doing the whole 2 account strategy like me, have 1 account with Gil Thunder and have 1 account with Hellbrum, so you can stack those attack buffs and just destroy the Gray Demon very easily. So you can bring a healer. You can bring a healer in for the Gray Demon. Like the best healer for the Gray Demon is Green Princess Elizabeth. You can heal. However, there will be times where the demon will put no recovery debuff on you, so you will not be able to heal unless you have like Blue King or a way to cleanse that buff prior to healing. That's the only way. He does put out that buff after I think the first few turns. He'll start putting that debuff out more commonly. So I typically don't go with a heal strategy at all. I don't bring a healer. I just bring good DPS, and I just kill that demon as fast as possible before I need a heal. That's the strategy I go with, because it's really annoying when he puts prevent healing debuff on yourself, and then you have to worry about that. And you know, Blue King is okay for the Green Demon. He's not bad. He's an okay option. If you don't have Green King, he's an okay option. Again, you want characters that have ranged attacks. That way when he's flying, you can still consistently deal damage to him every turn when he's flying. Ground attack units are a lot harder to work with on that demon, because if they're flying, you're just going to miss with all your attacks. Okay, so moving on, that covers those 2 demons. I'm not going to cover the guild boss in this guide. It changes a lot, the strategies on the guild boss and the points and whatnot. There's just too much to cover, and this is a quick and dirty. So gearing, how to gear correctly. So how to gear correctly. What you want to do for gearing, almost every character you're going to want to build with the attack set and the armor set. Let's change this real quick. So you want the attack set, which is 4 pieces of attack, so you get that onslaught bonus, and you want 2 pieces of defense, so you get that 20% defense bonus. You're always going to want your SSR gear on the left. Why? Because the stats it can have is way bigger than the right side. So here's an example, right? Like I can have 500 to attack on the left side, but a piece of attack gear on the right side is going to have a way lower attack possibility stat there. I know that's an uncommon piece of gear, so it's not apples for apples, but I'm just showing you. The left side always has the higher chance of the stats here. So you want your SSR gear on the left, and you want common and uncommon gear, or possibly rare gear on the right. Why? Because when you level up these gears on the right to get these stats, as you can see, this is an attack piece, so I want as much attack as possible. When you re-roll these, so if you got a low roll or it's not attack, it's crit chance, you can change these. You can re-roll these. You can go in here and even tell it, hey, I want you to keep re-rolling until I get attack, and I want it to be 2%, 2% or higher before stopping. You can have it auto re-roll for you too, so you can do that while you're AFK. That's cool. But the thing is, when you re-roll that, it just costs gold. So that's why you want either rare, uncommon, or common on the right side. Common's going to cost less, uncommon's going to cost more, rare's going to cost more. But if you have SSR gear and you want to re-roll anything, it costs diamonds. So, and anvils, which we don't get a lot of anvils right now currently in the game. So you don't want to re-roll these because it is a waste of diamonds. And that's why you put uncommon, rare, and common gear on the right side, because you can re-roll these, and even on rare gear it still costs gold. It just costs more, but it costs gold. Okay, so also with gear, to get SSR gear for attack gear, you want to unlock 5 hearts in the first chapter in Vanya. Once you unlock 5 hearts in the first chapter in Vanya and you go inside Vanya, there will be a man there that will hand you a red quest. Okay, a red quest will look like this from Vanya, and it will give you a piece of SSR gear for completing it. Once you complete it, it immediately pops up with another one. So you can basically farm this quest to get a bunch of SSR attack items. And that does not happen until you get 5 stars in Vanya. So why is that important? What's important is because every time you get a piece of one of these gears, it could randomly, the stats it has is random, right? So I think I sold a lot of my shit gear, so I probably don't have any to show you. But say for example, it's a random how powerful the gear is. So for example, I ran that quest a bunch of times and I kept getting a bracer that had like 390 attack or 400 attack, which is low. And I kept running it until I finally got a bracer that had like a high amount of attack, like 500. Once I got a good bracer that had 500, that's when I decided it's worth it to invest and go ahead and level the stars up on that. But this stat is random, and it can be low or it can be high, so don't invest, don't star up the gear unless you get a decently high roll. You can change these rolls, but again, on SSR gear it costs diamonds, so it's easier to just keep rerunning the quest till you get one that has a decent roll on it. Anything that has a decent roll on it, it's up to you if you want to invest. See, here's another example. I kept running it until I got a belt that had a really high roll on it. So then I started investing a little bit on it since it's worth it, since I got a good high roll on it. So it's the same thing with these pieces, right? I'll give you a quick example right here. This piece right here, it's perfect. So what I did is I went to, defensive gear, the shield, defensive gear is from stage 2. So I went to stage 2, went to the vendor, and I bought 15 of these. I think you can only buy 15 a day max. I bought 15 of these, and I kept doing that until I eventually got one that had an 800 HP, basically a maxed one. Then I started awakening it. So you basically go there, buy the gear, and you can keep re-rolling it until it's max. When you get a max piece, that's when you can start awakening it. If you care about min-maxing, like if you're hardcore like that. As you can see, I saved these pieces for the same reason. They got max rolls here. 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. So you can keep buying the gear there every day until you get a piece that has a high roll. See, here's one that's also maxed. So if you want the maximum potential, you basically will have to keep buying the gear until you get one that has the max stats. And that's what I'm working on right now, to make sure all my pieces have the maximum stat before I start awakening them. And awakening them is cheap. And to re-roll, it costs 5k to re-roll on common gear. So if you want to re-roll like this stat because it's too low, it only costs 5,000 gold. But if you had a rare piece, let's say, and you wanted to re-roll a stat here, it costs like 7,000 gold or something like that. So if you're gonna start out, you can just put in all common gears and work on that, or you can wait till you have more gold and go with the uncommon gear if you're really trying to min-max and really trying to achieve those highest stats as possible. That's basically what you do. The first town has attack gear, and I would never buy it there. So you can buy SSR attack gear from the first town, but it's super expensive. So it makes more sense to just run that repeatable quest that you get from the guy. After you run this quest, the next quest will be for a bracer, and then the next quest will be for a ring. So every time you keep running this, it's a different piece. And it is, I do that because it's way cheaper. If you go look at the gear, you can buy SSR gear from him, and again, it's going to be random how good the attack roll is on that piece. So it's really expensive and really not worth it. So this is what you would do basically if you're starting out with your gear. You go to equipment shop, and this is Vanya, so they sell attack gear here in Vanya. City Chapter 2 sells the defensive gear, and Chapter 3 sells the health gear. So basically, if you're starting out in your gear, you come here, you go to level 1, and we want all the right side to be common, right? So what I would do is I would buy this bracer, and I'd buy 10 of them. I would buy 10 of those bracers, then save. Then now I want to gear out a character, right? Let's go to one that doesn't have any gear on. I want to gear out a character. So I want to put a bracer here, and I just bought 10 of them, right? So as you can see, this one is only 74 of 80. This one, 74, 65, blah, blah, blah. They're in order anyway. They're in order, so that's so you can tell which ones are higher. This one right here, 77. So that's not maxed either. We're looking for 80. If you want it to be maxed and you want to be as powerful as possible, we're looking for an 80 roll. So what I would do is I would just either salvage these items to get materials, or just sell them back to the vendor and try again the next day, because it resets. You can only buy that 10 a day, and you would keep doing that until you get either a perfect roll or like a 79 roll, and then that's when you'll start awakening them and investing them. It's a tedious process. It does cost a lot of money, but if you want your stats to be as high as possible, that's how you do that. Okay. So basically that's how I got, like if you look at my Merlin here, that's how I got this item with a perfect roll. I kept buying 10 of these a day until eventually I found one that was 100. Then I started investing in it. Bought 10 of these a day until I found one that was maxed, which is 40 in this case. Then I started awakening it, and so on and so on. You can buy 10 a day. You can farm these as well, so you could do that as well if you want. But I just buy like the 10 a day and try to get a perfect one. And then once I do get a perfect one, that's when I start going in and invest in it. And you can always re-roll these back at another time. So my goal right now is to go back at these lower stats and basically say, hey, keep re-rolling it until I get, 2.5% health or higher. And then I hit gold, so it uses gold, and hit apply. and that will automatically keep re-rolling this stat for you automatically until you get 2.5% health or higher. It'll keep doing it. So this is something you can also do while you're AFK or watching a movie or doing whatever, that you can do automatically. But look at the cost. It does cost a lot of gold each time. It's costing 5k each time because it's a common piece. If it was an uncommon piece or a rare piece, it would cost even more. So yeah, if you're a beginner, it's best to start off with common pieces because they cost the least. See there, I got a roll that's over 2.5, right? That's what I told it. It had to be over 2.5. So that roll automatically just saved. So I close that, and now my roll was higher. So eventually I'm going to do that to this one as well and just get the max that I can. Since this is a maxed out piece, I'm going to go ahead and invest in it. And it's the same thing with these. These you just get from quests. If you look at this one's not that good. So I'm basically doing that repeatable quest until I get a necklace that has, you know, a higher stat. I don't want to invest in this one because it's not very great. I did invest in this one, again, because this one was a pretty high roll. 502 out of 520 is pretty good. So I said, fuck it. Also with this one was almost perfect. So I'm also investing in this one because it's almost a perfect roll. So don't invest in gear that has shit rolls because you're gonna end up replacing it anyways. So you're just wasting time and gold and money. So that's basically about the gear. You're gonna want. What I do is I focus on 4 sets of gear. Okay, 3 sets that are attack. So as you can see here. Actually, I guess technically I have 4 sets because one's on Merlin. So I got 4 sets of attack gear, and I have 1 set of health gear. So this health gear I either put on my green Meliodas because the more health he has, the more he can lose, and the more he can lose, the more he can do his full counter and just destroy people. Or I put this on a unit that is basically just support, like a healer or something. That's just support that I don't want to die. Other than that, it's all attack and armor. 4 attack, 2 armor, 4 attack, 2 armor. And 1 set of health gear, that's 4 health and 2 armor. And even then, it's debatable. Because a healer, for example, most of the time the healer's abilities and whatnot, their heal power is based off their attack power. So for Merlin, for example, she's super good to build with attack power, because not only does it make her hit harder with her rank 1 card, but her bubble, right, that she puts on everyone, her unbreakable cube she puts on everyone, the power of the barrier is equal to her attack. So you build her with a lot of attack, and it also makes your cube stronger. Same thing with like Elizabeth, like some of the healers and whatnot. Some are percent based, like I think King right here, if you look at his, see, his is heals diminished HP of all odds by 30%. So it's not based off of attack. So getting more attack is not going to make his heal better. But if you look at, I don't have the other healing Elizabeth on here, but I have this one. So if you look at this one, her heal is based off of attack. So sometimes you just want to put attack gear even on your healers, because that can increase the amount of attack. But it's really up to you. If you want to go high heal, put attack gear on them. They'll increase how much they heal, but then they'll be a little more squishy. So it's up to you if you want to have less healing, but build them with the health gear to make sure they don't die, or if you want to go full attack gear so you can get the biggest heals possible. So that covers gear. So get Vanya, level 5 hearts, because once you do, it unlocks this quest that's repeatable that gives you SSR gear. So once you have 5 hearts, you can farm SSR attack gear. You want to go to chapter 3, which is called Post Town of Tala, get 5 hearts there as well. Once you get 5 hearts there as well, there will be a person in the city as well that has a red quest of gear. And that will allow you to start farming SSR health gear. Those are the 2 most important ones. City number 2, chapter number 2, that's where you buy your defensive gear. So that's where you're going to go to buy your rare, common, and uncommon defensive gear. It's just not worth buying SSR gear. You should just do this quest, get them to 5 stars or 5 hearts, and do the quest because the shit is ridiculous. Look at these prices here. To buy one piece, almost $1 million. And then you still have the random factor of the roll. It could be, you could spend all this money on this piece and it'll be shit. So it's best just to do the quest here and keep doing these quests until you finally get an item that has a good roll on it. Then you can invest in it. So that covers the gear. Sorry, that went a little long. Tried to cover that as quickly as possible. But we're nearing the end here. So PvP, there is a lot to PvP. Too much for me to cover in this guide. The only thing I'm going to say is, even if you don't like PvP, do PvP at least once a day because there's a daily task for it. And then try to do as much as you can. If you love PvP, do a bunch. But at least do this one, because you get good rewards every day and it's a daily task. And the way PvP works is you get rankings in PvP, and every Monday, depending on your rank, you get free gems. So you're going to get like anywhere from 10 to 30 gems free every week depending on your PvP rank. So that is a lot of free gems to pass up on. I put a link here to a PvP guide from the wiki. That will give you all the information you need for PvP. So I'm also putting a link to this guide online, so you can download this Word document as Cliff Notes if you ever want to refer back to it without watching this full video. The link for the guide is right here. It's also going to be in the comments or the description of the video. If you have any questions for me, you can either leave a comment or you can add me on social media. All my social media handles are OMGtheDONNY on Facebook, Instagram, Yahoo, everything OMGtheDONNY. And on Discord, I am OMGtheDONNY number 0696. Shout out to my Knighthood, the loyal ones. We're top 0% on the server. I think, and last week we were ranked 50 on the whole server. So shout out to them. And I think we might be looking for 1 or 2 quality players still. So if you're looking for a really strong Knighthood and you're a dedicated player, hit me up on that. I hope this guild has helped a lot, our guide has helped a lot of people. Yeah, and happy hunting out there. This game's really fun. I really enjoy it. Oh yeah, whenever you see these glowy things in every town, always pick them up because they reset there all the time and there's always free stuff in there. I hope this guild has helped people. Please drop a like and a comment if this has helped you. And most importantly, enjoy the game and play it how you want to play it. Thanks for listening, y'all. This is only my second guide, so I hope it's okay. See you in the game, hopefully. Hopefully I don't see you in PvP, because then I'll have to kill you. Alright, fellas. Take it easy and stay safe. And don't get that virus.